that is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 90 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam and I'm joined for episode 90 by Sam.
The Eric Bischoff of the pod.
You definitely are, yeah.
God, by John.
You sounded a bit surprised by 90 at the start there, Adam. Like,
I was.
Whoa, 90.
It's quite a big deal. I was just like, 90 is... did you ever think we'd get this far when we started out?
It's nice because we're doing like a 90s themed episode in a way.
Oh, kind of.
And if you stretch.
Brett, you're here as well. Let's say hello to Brett.
I am.
Hello, Brett. So, just quickly, the last podcast was our AEW Full Gear 2019 review. But tonight, while the rest of the country are watching Corbin versus Johnson in the live TV leadership debate, we're getting involved in the only debate that matters in the world right now. AEW versus NXT. Brett. Brett, you love politics. You absolutely
I do love
it.
politics.
Are you devastated to be missing the debate?
I am. I want to see Corbin hand Johnson his arse on a platter.
God, I thought you were going to say you want to see Corbin hand job Johnson.
Oh my God, that'd be a debate I'd be up for.
I'd be watching that right now if that was happening.
Right, enough about the National Health Service. Which one of you can jack each other off quickest?
Oh, dear me.
And that's how we vote, people.
That's a tough call, actually. That's a tough one to call. But let's not debate that. We've got more important things to talk about. And this has all gone slightly wrong and disgusting. I was hoping for a sensible chat about politics with Brett. It's not going to happen. So let's have a sting and then let's come back and talk wrestling.
Looking for fear factor, that packet pile driver on the apron. Penta, oh no! He nailed it! And Omega's down, and he might be out!
Right, yes, so this is AEW versus NXT. It's the Wednesday Night Wars, or at least that's what it's been dubbed. I think we should probably clarify that I don't think the majority of people really see this as a war, do they? You don't really have to pick a side. You can just be happy there's so much good wrestling.
It's kind of like a Cold War,
I also don't think most people watch on a Wednesday.
No, exactly.
No.
Yeah, it's not like the old days. You can just watch whatever you want when you want. You can stream it. You can illegally download it. You can watch GIFs if you want to.
My Saturday
Gifts in
mornings
Twitter.
have become amazing recently because I wake up, watch SmackDown, get up, watch AEW, and then piss about in my underwear and watch NXT. It's good.
So you have three different positions for watching.
SmackDown is in bed.
Yeah.
AEW, I
Sounds
kind
like
of
you
half...
stood up. Stood up for AEW?
No. I get out of bed and I kind of like half wander over to the shower and start watching it in there. And
In the shower?
yeah.
So you telling me that sometimes you watch Kenny Omega and company whilst all soapy?
I realise I've said this on a podcast.
This is very homoerotic already, this podcast.
It is.
How do we bring this back on
Wrestling.
track?
Yeah, wrestling, there we go. Yeah.
That's wrestling.
How do you do it?
What do you mean?
I don't want to know.
Seems to be a lot of water
Can I just
involved.
put my hand up and say I don't
Well,
want
yeah,
to
but
know?
you just stick your phone on the wall and then jobs
What do you mean?
Stick your phone
it on the wall.
It's like one of those, like sticky pad things.
Okay. What, on the outside of the shower?
Sticky pad in the shower.
No, in the shower. It's a waterproof phone.
So dangerous. Doesn't
do
it
you
steam
mean?
up?
Well, yeah, we just wipe the screen off every now and then.
Okay.
I mean,
This does seem a bit bonkers, even by your standards, Sam.
Please, can someone edit this section into something really awful? Because there's so many things Sam said.
There is.
It
okay,
doesn't
well,
take much insinuation.
I didn't think a shower with some wrestling was weird.
My worry is that there may well be some wrestling fans out there who aren't keeping up to date with everything. They're like, what is this Wednesday Night Wars? And they Google and they see the title of this podcast. They never listened to Hardest Part of the Ring. And they haven't made it this far, let's face it.
Anyway. I mean, in the cold light of day, I see problems here.
Yeah.
I don't want to break my phone.
Lots of problems. Anyway, for the sake of this podcast, we are going to kind of treat it as a war. We're going to analyse each product a little bit and maybe at the end, in fact, definitely at the end, we're going to have to pick our current favourite. There's no umming and ahhing. There's no
really?
sort of, I like this and this. You just got to pick one, okay?
I didn't know that. That wasn't discussed.
world we live
earlier.
in.
Yeah, that wasn't in the deal.
I've just decided.
Stop tribalising me. I was going to say John.
Yeah,
Adam.
it felt like you were going to say John.
I had it. Yeah.
It's because I radicalise people. That's why, isn't it, Sam?
It is. You're a radical dude.
John.
Okay, so let's get a little bit into the history of AEW versus NXT before we move on to talking about matches and stuff like that. So AEW versus NXT on Wednesday nights is the first direct competition between two major promotions since Impact Wrestling, then known as TNA, briefly moved their flagship. I was doing.
I thought you were going to say flag shit, and I was like, man, nailed it.
flagship series to Monday nights opposite Raw in 2010. Were you watching back then, Brett? You liked TNA, didn't you?
I did.
2010?
I was just watching TNA when they came out. I wasn't watching WWE then.
Ah, okay. Cool. The Wednesday Night War is also occurring 20 years since the original Monday Night Wars between WWF and WCW, which ran from 95 to 2001. I think that was... I mean, obviously, that is an absolute classic. That is the proper wrestling wars.
Yep.
Obviously, I think when I first got back into wrestling, I watched the big run of documentaries that they've got on the network. Slightly biased, of course, but still so good to remember that time. Yep, I was hoping one of you guys might spin off into something interesting, but yeah, of course not.
Yeah, no, WWE won.
Yeah. So AEW Dynamite debuted on October the 2nd on TNT. NXT moved from exclusively being on the WWE Network to the USA Network on September the 18th, 2 weeks before Dynamite's debut. Do you want to look at TV ratings?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
love
I'm really into
ratings.
TV ratings.
Can't get enough of them.
Do TV ratings count like streams?
I don't think so because, yeah, I guess it's literally just like TNT and USA are getting those figures. It's literally the TV network figures. But anyway, if we want to talk figures, for NXT's first 2 weeks, they drew around 1 million viewers. But obviously, yeah, it was weird at the start, wasn't it? Due to the programming conflicts of those first two shows. The first hour was on USA and then the second hour was on WWE Network.
Yeah, because of Suits.
That was odd.
Suits? Yeah.
Suits the program or just Suits in general?
I don't think because not the man.
The man.
Not
Well,
Becky Lynch.
Yeah. On the night that AEW debuted, Dynamite got 1.4 million viewers, while NXT dropped to 891,000, which kind of makes sense. A lot of intrigue around Dynamite. But in the 7 weeks since going head-to-head, Dynamite has beaten NXT every time. And with last week's post-Full Gear episode of Dynamite getting about 1 million compared to about 750,000 for NXT. The week before that was pretty much neck and neck, but every other week AEW have won comfortably by a couple of 100,000 viewers, hovering around the 1 million mark. And just for comparison's sake, Raw consistently hits around the 2 million mark. So it means it's doubly as good.
Well, that's interesting. I don't expect it to be bigger, that gap between Raw and AEW.
Yeah, I think they're doing pretty well, really.
Yeah. It'd be interesting
really well.
because obviously we not in America. I don't know that hierarchy of TV stations like USA and TNT. Like, is it like Channel 5 and Bravo? I mean, is that
Bravo? Oh, showing your age, John.
John used to love a bit of Men and Motors.
Oh, my days.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know because obviously SmackDown on Fox is big. Everyone knows Fox is a big channel. What's Raw on? Is that on
USA?
USA? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, don't know. Probably could have found that out before.
The thing with Raw is it's been on TV for so long. It's a bit of an institution, isn't it? People are just gonna put it on just because it's Raw.
yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean
exactly.
it's good. It's like The Simpsons.
No,
It's a whole other
oh,
podcast.
that's harsh.
Harsh on the new Simpsons. I'm not.
No,
having
okay,
it.
not new Simpsons, definitely not.
Yeah, there we go. New Simpsons is like new wrestling.
I don't think I've watched Simpsons for about 15 years.
I occasionally
Yeah.
dip in like to catch a new episode every like 6 months or so, and like, ugh, it's a bit like watching like an old wrestler. Like there's hints of the former glory, but mostly just flabby weight.
I think The Simpsons and Raw have a lot more in common than you guys give it credit for.
Yeah, probably.
It's a cartoon. I'm too old and mature for that. Anyway, wrestling. So what we're going to talk about is what we think makes the best TV product. We're going to talk about what we think the best storylines have been, or who's got the best storyline, and then also best matches. And then, once the serious stuff is out of the way, we'll probably look at some stupid stuff as well, which we've got lined up. So to start off with, best TV product. So kind of just taking everything as a whole, maybe in a way ignoring the quality of the matches or how intrigued we are by the storylines, just which product looks the best. So John, have you got an opinion on that?
So I think AEW looks the best. Every TV show feels almost like a pay-per-view in its own right.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Like each match has about 15 minutes. Like they give it a lot of time, probably maybe even too much time actually, but I feel the way it's presented is very much like there's not very much in between each match. Maybe there's a little video package or anything like that, but then it is just match. Maybe
a lot of the time it is just match. Yeah.
Which I like.
I disagree with this.
Well, that isn't what it is like, or
No, I think NXT is the better TV product.
Okay, this is what we like. This is a proper debate.
Yeah, this is the debate the country's been waiting for.
You are the Boris Johnson of the podcast.
That is incredibly mean. I'm the Nigel Farage of the podcast.
Oh, you're not.
I'm joking. Oh, God. Leave me alone with a poor guy who watches wrestling in the shower. No, I think kind of NXT is a bit more polished, a bit more kind of neat around the edges. I think AEW kind of leans a little bit too much on the nostalgia. There's a lot of kind of like, we dip the lights. Who is it now? Kind of, I don't want to say lazy storytelling, but kind of tried and tested storytelling. Whereas I feel like NXT tries a lot more kind of original stuff.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I think John's definitely right that the AEW feels more like a pay-per-view, and that is obviously because they're all in big arenas with a massive crowd, but also because it's a new product and everybody's really hardcore. The crowd are so enthusiastic that it feels like a pay-per-view.
True.
I think I'm with Sam on this one. Surprisingly, like I love the AEW product, but like NXT is so polished. If we get to it, like maybe too much advertising their own stuff constantly because it's WWE, but just for like all the screen graphics, and I mean the TV on screen graphics, not the wrestler Titantron stuff. Distinct difference there.
It really is.
Yeah, and just like, even the lighting they do at the beginning of big matches on NXT now, like where they have like the spotlights on the wrestler either side and they
that is cool.
Do their little like ident pose sort of thing.
They have the NXT spotlight on the canvas as well, don't they?
Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, I just think and of course they do, because like it's, for one, it's WWE, so they've been doing this a long time and they know what they're doing. Yeah. But for two, they're in the same space. So
every single week, true.
Yeah, every single week. So they really can, like, unlike all the other shows, they can really make it, a bit different, super polished, week in, week out in the same space. It's just definitely more finesse.
It must be so nice for the wrestlers as well, not having to travel, like just be in the same place.
Recently, though?
Yeah, they're chucking them all over the place, aren't they?
I suppose they are, actually.
And then they are also, they're always doing NXT tours all over the country. So they're all travelling all over the place most of the time. But I like having like a home stadium in a way, which isn't the case for Raw, SmackDown or AEW. That is really cool.
Another thing that's quite nice about NXT is you've got a really nice mix at the moment of indie talent. Well, I say indie talent, but kind of indie wrestlers who have come to WWE and actual developmental wrestlers who are still kind of like honing their craft and coming through. I was worried when it became like a 2-hour show that you would kind of lose that developmental side of it, but like they're still giving people like Aaliyah a chance to kind of develop her wrestling. Well, yeah, that looks rough, but stuff like that is good because that's going to build new wrestlers who organically are going to grow with the fans.
I think the fact that it isn't a whitewash and that we're all like NXT by a country mile is obviously well, sort of credit to AEW. They have hit
absolutely.
the ground running. They're doing a great job. And I said
Yeah.
last week that the camera work is really strong on AEW, I think.
It is. And it's new, and it's, you know, it is a bit different, and so therefore that is exciting, and it is bringing something different.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I have nothing against AEW. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant as well. But I just think both of them are very good. So it's hard to put something between them.
Obviously, a big part of the TV product is commentary. If we had to pick a side, I mean
NXT's got to be.
It's got to be.
They got the best commentator in the world.
Yeah, he's the best one.
Ronaldo or JR? It's like we touched. Well, Sam, he was very sensitive in a not in a good way about JR, sort of paying him his dues, and the fact that he has been so good for so long, or he used to be so good, but he's just not up. He doesn't cut the mustard anymore.
Just a bit mean and grumpy.
Yeah, but Ronaldo, I mean, there are a lot of people, well, some people who get a bit annoyed with Ronaldo because a lot of it is so pre-prepared. And I think on last week's episode...
But that's what's so good about it.
If you don't like that, you don't like wrestling. That's my
yeah.
No, but
I want to meet these people. Who are they, Adam? Give me names.
Yeah, I listened to an episode of the Grapple podcast last week. And they love to moan. They absolutely
bastards. Don't listen to them. They're tainting your opinion.
It's like on social media. You know, stepping out of your bubble every so often to just get that other side's opinion, so you can understand. You need to understand the enemy.
But
okay.
The thing is that they're always going at it like I screwed it up already. They're going at it like a carpenter and a dentist, tooth and nail. So you don't get stuff like that on AEW. That's a Ronaldo. That is.
Sam says they're always going at it. I'm just going to clip that bit out for the Sam saucy edit later that Brett suggested.
This is going to be the sexiest of podcasts.
All down to you, Sam, every time.
But I think last week there was a match. There was one match where Ronaldo, or was it? No, it wasn't one match. It was over a couple of matches where he was like, "Oh, he's fearless, like the guy from Free Solo," and he said that twice in the evening. I mean, I'm not saying he's a terrible commentator because he repeated something, but I can sort of see how some people might not like that sort of pre-prepared.
I think that's
aspect.
what makes him so awesome, though, because like you don't come out with half the lines that he does without pre-preparing them.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Also they
like
make sense because you know lots of the times they fit in with the wrestler gimmick or storyline, or even a WWE dream with advertisers with WWE. He can just slide that stuff in there like you don't even notice it.
I'm throwing it out there. Ronaldo is my favourite commentator in sport, not even like just wrestling. I just think he's perfect for the job.
Yeah.
He's up there. I love a bit of Test Match Special. So
that's exactly what I thought.
Would you watch Blowers and Ronaldo?
Okay, another clip. Right down the time code.
Killing it.
Write down the time code for that one.
Ronaldo aside, I think Nigel McGuinness is top dog. Like I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's really good.
Agreed. I think basically, if we wanted to create the dream booth, then swap out Beth Phoenix for Excalibur, and we're on to something. And
not Henry Blofeld.
No.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Because I would watch that in a heartbeat.
He'd be so confused.
But Beth's decent, isn't she? As a third hand, like I think she brings more to the party than Percy Watson.
I'm not. I love Beth Phoenix, but I do not think she's good.
Decent,
developmental.
Yes. Well, exactly, and in a way, that's what the third person should be. Yeah. But yeah, over to AEW. Obviously, we talked about JR. I think everybody agrees that Excalibur is excellent, especially play by play. He really knows his stuff.
And Tony, what's his surname, Adam?
Schiavone or Schiavone. I can't remember what it is now. Don't question me. But yeah, JR just poor overall. Yeah, I think he does have good moments, but Tope El Suicido.
Yeah, he just shouldn't be. Because the relationship between him and Excalibur is so murky, like who's the actual play-by-play guy? It feels like it should be Excalibur, but JR kind of gets in there sometimes and steps over him. JR should just be the sort of colour commentator role, really. Just chirping in every now and again so you hear his voice and like, oh, that takes me back.
Yeah.
But just small amounts.
I wonder if AEW could at any point make a play for Kevin Kelly and Don Callis.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know why. Yeah. They're both excellent together, actually.
What do you think about... I was thinking about this watching the two of last week's shows, and in fact just watching all of these Wednesday night shows over the last few weeks. I feel like NXT has lost something going to TV in the fact that the bloody adverts on both shows are so annoying.
Matches, in the middle of bloody matches.
Yeah, and I think I really find myself being totally sort of drawn in by the over-top American ads, like crazy products and weird voiceovers, and I'm like, I'll try and watch the match, but then I ended up being drawn to the larger screen with the advert on. It's really,
in that triple threat they had a few weeks ago with Roderick Strong, Keith Lee.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was such an amazing main event, but they had an ad break in the middle of it. It's like, it's a fucking main event.
What annoys me is when they're kind of mid-match, and then they'll go, we'll go to an ad break, and it fades to black, and it fades in again, and it's like they're in a completely different position to where they were, and like everything's changed. It's just like,
yeah. Well, I always assumed that when there was an ad break, like the ref, you know, who's mic'd up or whatever, he'd just be like, okay, ad break, and then they just do a rest hold for 3 minutes. I didn't realise until watching these weekly shows like this with the picture-in-picture, so how much action there is, and how sort of, you know, whoever's on top is flip-flopping, and there's actually quite a lot of stuff going on. I didn't realise how much you end up missing.
Don't understand why it's not done in between the matches like it would do with any other anything. It makes no sense. I can't see how
it's because people fast forward in between matches, or I think there were some stats to suggest on AEW that one of the reasons why that they do match is because the viewing figures drop in the time in between matches. Even if it's an amazing promo, people switch off or switch over. They just want to see matches, apparently. So that's why they stick the ads in there.
Interesting.
fair enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely easy to just like click on the old highlighted sections on the network, isn't it? Like beginning of match and stuff like that.
See, that's interesting because I'm still not using the network at all. I'm just using a bit of a dodgy streaming service because the network's just so rubbish. Is it improved?
On NXT, like, it's really good in that aspect that, you know, you can skip out all that stuff. And even they highlight like a promo bit if, you know, there's something happening in it. So there's just chapterizers.
They break it up really well, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know. I watch it through my PlayStation and it never remembers if I'm halfway through an episode.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying. Okay, so if we had to call it best TV product, Sam,
NXT.
John,
I'm going to AEW.
Brett,
NXT.
I think I'll go for. Shit, I can't choose.
Adam, you were the one telling us to get all tribal.
Yeah. Okay, right. If I have to,
and then straight away
get
on
off
the
fence, Adam.
No, you're so right. You're absolutely right. It is NXT then. So that's a 1-0.
You're wrong, John. You're wrong, and your opinions are stupid, apparently, and you don't like wrestling as much as the rest of us, apparently.
Exactly. We have now picked our sides, and that's all there is to it.
Can I change my mind to AEW?
No. Although you are the Nigel Farage, so
we need to.
You can go back on things you've said. Best storylines. Let's talk about storylines that we've enjoyed from either. Brett, are there any in particular that you've been loving on either show? Don't say no, because that won't be good for the pod.
I mean, everything Cody Rhodes does on Dynamite.
Yes, place to start.
Essentially, like, you know, whether he's talking, like a match, just Cody Rhodes.
Incredibly, Cody has only actually appeared on one. He's only had one wrestling match on Dynamite on the first show versus Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, and it's been mostly promos, hasn't it?
So it's just been promos. Or
did he have a match with Darby Allin? Was that wasn't was that on Dynamite?
No. The reason I know this is just because I went on Cage Match last night and
had a look.
Because I was like, I wanted to talk about Cody matches, and I was quite wary of the fact that we are talking about the Wednesday Night Wars, and it might be easy to remember stuff from the pay-per-views. And I had a look, and he's literally just had the one match on Dynamite.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, his promos, obviously the Inner Circle stuff is really good, and I guess MJF had his thing on the pay-per-view, didn't he? But then the The Dynamite after that
promo.
was really good. His promo with
That
Jericho.
most recent promo was excellent.
I love the fact that MJF is 23 and there he was completely like bossing it with Jericho.
Yeah, he was so good. That was awesome.
So funny, those
There
two.
was.
Yeah, incredible. Sam, any storylines you want to talk about from NXT or AEW?
Yeah. Do you know what? Let's talk about Finn Balor
Yeah.
coming back to NXT.
It's huge.
It is huge. It's a real coup for NXT to kind of get someone of that level and skill, because he's someone who went up to the main roster and didn't flop. You know, first Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion for a long amount of time.
I think John would argue with you on that. He did on a previous podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if you can say he's a complete success on the main roster.
Undefeated as the Demon.
Didn't flop is probably correct. You can't talk about the Demon.
He was the first Universal Champion.
Yeah. I admit that. But after that point, since he came back from injury, you've got to admit he's been misused. Like, I'll give you his Intercontinental title for a long time, but it's just been there's been no big feuds that really stand out, or even like really good matches necessarily.
I see what you mean. I do agree to an extent, but I feel like maybe that's more of a failure of the main roster than a failure on his part.
True.
Doesn't seem like anyone gets good matches on the main roster.
But anyway, on NXT, it is huge.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's massive, and I'm really liking the new heel Finn Balor. And in a weird way, he is almost the most important person to this entire Wednesday Night War. So if you think about it, right, Finn Balor, right, he's the guy who he started the Bullet Club, which in turn kind of brought about the Elite, which has kind of gone on to form AEW. Meanwhile, Adam Cole from bloody The Undisputed Era cut his teeth in the Bullet Club before coming over and more or less forming another version of the Bullet Club in the Undisputed Era in NXT.
Yeah.
You got AJ Styles and the club, not the club, what are they called now? The OC? Whatever.
Yeah, the original club.
Yeah, another iteration of the Bullet Club in WWE at the moment. Like, can one person... Like, he's so influential in the fact that if there is... I don't know if it's fair to say, but if you go far enough with this, if there's no Finn Balor, there is no AEW.
That's probably quite far.
Too much of a stretch?
It's not the most outrageous thing you've said on this podcast. So, I think that whole episode, it's really annoying because I've watched every single episode of NXT since moving to Wednesday nights, moving to USA, except for that one. And that was the one that had like the biggest surprise and the heel turn from Balor.
Oh man, I had that spoiled for me.
Yeah, me too.
I had a guy come up to me at work and just go, Finn Balor, heel turn, eh? And I was just like, oh, fuck you.
Even despite that, it didn't make it any less shocking when I watched it.
Yeah. John, any storylines you're enjoying? Back to AEW, can you think of any, or NXT?
See, I think this is quite hard on AEW because obviously we've been watching NXT for years and years and years, so we're kind of really invested in those characters and those storylines. Yeah. Whereas AEW still feels very new, and those storylines, apart from the Cody stuff, haven't really stuck. Like I think the Omega Moxley stuff's been quite good.
I think the Pride and Powerful, or Powerful and Prideful, or whatever they're called, has been pretty good.
Yeah, that's been good, but nothing on the sort of same level as, like the Gargano Ciampa stuff. Or
they haven't had the chance, have they? But yeah, you're right. The Inner Circle stuff's all really good. And then, Luchasaurus made his comeback this week. I love what they've been doing with them. Orange Cassidy, the lols with him in the toilet during the week, that was excellent.
I think the thing as well, like with the Gargano Ciampa stuff, is they've had a couple of years to build that. If you want a kind of like for like comparison, you need to look at someone like Damian Priest.
Oh God, do we have to?
Yeah,
well, I know he's not great or kind of too interesting at the moment, but like he's someone who's been on NXT for like maybe a similar amount of time, or kind of a more comparable amount of time.
Yeah,
to what AEW have been doing.
Yeah. It is difficult to compare in a way, but it definitely feels as if Finn Balor is the big sort of...
Yeah.
We need to do something huge in reaction to AEW. And
I was going to say, apart from like, that stuff in NXT, a lot of their matches and a lot of their rest of their card, just having matches with different people, so it doesn't feel like there's any other storylines apart from at the top.
Yeah,
they obviously the whole extra hour to fill has been interesting. I do like the fact that they've moved the cruiserweight title to NXT, because that's brought about some really solid matches and some
Angel Garza has been an absolute standout.
Yeah, he's been amazing, hasn't he? He's got
recently.
such a great smile as well. My God.
I think that's the thing, though. Like, there's been amazing matches on NXT, but a lot of it feels, they're great matches, feel exhibition-like, and don't feel like they have a meaning moving forward.
Yeah, if I was to say, like, from the time that AEW started, from NXT going I'd say
and that's what
stuff,
I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the older stuff, like, what we were saying, Gargano Ciampa, literally like this recent sprint.
What about? Sorry,
I was just going to say the Cody stuff, I think, is the best storyline across either brand at the moment.
Yeah, I'd agree. But just thinking the Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic stuff has kind of been since they moved to TV. That's been good.
That triple threat. We could do an entire episode on that triple threat. It was so good.
And then obviously, I mean, a big priority of theirs has been this lead up to Survivor Series. So we've had loads of stuff. I mean, that's led to matches. It wasn't on NXT, but Adam Cole has got to have matches with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins, and there's been maybe too much invasion stuff now. Just reading up on Raw. Last night's Raw, but that stuff is fun.
I mean, that's
the OC appearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be forever, is it? That's going to be up until Survivor Series, and then things will go back to normal.
Well, do you reckon it will? I wonder how much of this sort of like universe cross-pollination there will be going forward. Because it's quite a good idea to make it feel more like a universe rather than sort of individual brands.
Yeah, it might keep some of the TV companies happy.
Yeah. I don't see NXT being dropped down to where it was. I think NXT is kind of on a level now.
No, they're losing every match at Survivor Series.
No, they're definitely third, but they're much closer to being just on a level with SmackDown and Raw than they used to be.
That women's triple threat at Survivor Series is one of the matches I'm most excited about probably this year.
Oh, for me, it's a tag match. I think that tag match
Bayley,
insane.
Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. I'm really hyped for that because I think Bayley has been doing great stuff since she's turned heel. We all know Becky Lynch is an absolute performer, and Shayna Baszler for me is probably one of the most stepped up, impressive wrestlers, and pound for pound the most threatening person in all of WWE, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wowzers. Okay.
Train.
Yeah. Storylines. Who's had the best storylines? John.
So I think if we take it from like October to now, I'm going to go AEW just for the Cody stuff.
Okay, Sam?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think maybe AEW's edging it here. I'm liking the Kenny Omega stuff as well. And also, spoilers for this week's AEW, although maybe last week's by the time this comes out. When I was watching it last week and they had SCU versus Jericho and Guevara, me and my friend were sat there like, well, it's going to be a dusty finish. They're not going to have Jericho lose and they're not going to have Jericho win either. Yeah. They're not going to have them win the tag team titles. The roll-up finish was excellent.
That was a surprise. It was.
Came out of nowhere, and I really enjoyed that.
First time he's been pinned, isn't it, I think, Jericho?
Yeah, it's huge. It's just a really cool upset, and it just made it feel very authentic and good. And his Suzuki-esque reaction afterwards was excellent.
Yeah.
So you've gone for AEW?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett?
Yeah, I'm going AEW as well. And we didn't even mention the fact that they talk about their rankings and all the matches actually counting towards something for the wrestlers.
I do like the rankings.
Which obviously we're yet to see play out, but I think that's a really good, really good factor.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a clean sweep for AEW because I guess it's slightly, they've had time to prepare and really think about this and how they're going to get everybody on the roster involved and how every storyline's going to work. Whereas a lot of the NXT stuff has been reactionary, hasn't it? Because they weren't planning to do this necessarily. And obviously the stuff after Crown Jewel, they've had to be reactionary with that. And now they've got Survivor Series. So we love NXT, but yeah, I think AEW clean sweep for that one. So it's 1-1 at the moment as it stands. And now we're going to talk about some of our favourite matches and actually sort of say who's had the actual best in-ring matches. I'll start on this one. I AEW wise, I mean, again, it was quite hard for me to try and remember which matches had been on Dynamite and which were on Full Gear. It shouldn't be that hard to remember, but we're getting old. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus John Moxley and Pac. That was one of my favourite matches.
That was good.
Jericho versus Darby Allin a few weeks ago.
Anything with Darby Allin.
And Moxley versus Pac. They were just like three that I picked out that I've really enjoyed. Just saying all of those wrestlers' names, it's just fucking exciting that they've got that talent on there. And that they're having these big matches. Every week on Dynamite, they announce something on the card where you're like, fuck yes, I want to see this. It's because everything's fresh.
Yeah, I mean, this week's coming up, Darby Allin versus John Moxley.
Ooh.
Yeah. God, yes. Can't wait. Any AEW matches that stood out to you, Sam?
Could you come back to me? I'm looking at
I'm going pretty blank on any AEW matches.
I'll give a shout. The most recent, recency bias, Pac versus Hangman Page.
You love Hangman Page.
I love Hangman Page, and I've also loved every Pac match on AEW as well.
Yeah,
so
I have
far.
too.
Like, he's just phenomenal. So yeah, there's been really great, and maybe not like total story package wrestling, but the tag stuff has been a load of fun.
Yeah,
as well. Like, their tag matches are much more fun. And there's a lot more to them than NXT or WWE produce at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think they do a great job. With
While
the
I
tag stuff.
love some NXT tag teams, Undisputed Era, but just the matches that have gone on in AEW as well.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, their roster of tag teams is just incredible, really.
That's a good point, actually. Private Party versus Young Bucks.
Oh, yeah. And all of those tag sort of tournament matches were great.
That first one, that was a real kind of sign of their intentions and sort of set the tone for the rest of the tournament. Really enjoyable.
Yeah. Any other AEW stuff that stood out? Have you guys managed to Google good AEW matches?
Yeah, the tag matches, like the final was amazing. Even the semis were great.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out here. I've enjoyed all of Kenny Omega's matches. I absolutely adore this guy's wrestling.
Okay.
It's out there.
I think it's fantastic. I think he's just putting on some of the best stuff at the moment in the world.
Ooh.
It's a controversial opinion. Kenny Omega, one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing. Like, I think anybody who didn't know about him would be like, wow, this guy is incredible. But it's just that the stuff he was doing in Japan. I know his title run wasn't as good as stuff before that, but he's never going to reach those levels potentially. Well, maybe he will. Who knows? But it's just
even
a
the
hard
stuff
one.
on AEW Dark though, like his first unsanctioned match with his first unsanctioned match. I'm just about to say that with Joey Janela was excellent. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not against Kenny Omega, obviously. It's just...
Yet.
No, it's a weird one. What about NXT? I think going back a little while, October the 2nd, this was one of the early matches on USA, Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle.
Oh my God, that was
the first
so
one, wasn't
good.
it, on the TV?
Was that the first one? That was such a great match.
Oh, what about Walter versus Kushida?
Yeah, that's a weird one that you sort of never saw coming. And I do like the involvement that they're getting some NXT UK stuff. Obviously, Kaylee Ray turning up. Bit of a weird one. Not a massive pop from the crowd, but Kaylee Ray turning up the other night. Obviously, I mean, we've mentioned the Dijakovic, Keith Lee matches, but they've been excellent. Really
they
excellent.
Have. And anything with Roderick Strong as well.
Oh, God, yeah. I love Roderick Strong.
Like his match against Keith Lee, I don't know what.
It's last week, wasn't it? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great as well. Like, he's just so good. Put him against any size guy as well. Great matches.
He is a bit of a charisma vacuum on mic, but amazing in the ring. So good.
Yeah.
I'm just looking over the card at the moment for like recent shows on NXT. I'm seeing here a dark tag team match with Santana Garrett and Xia Li versus Chelsea Green and a little-known Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh, your favourite.
It's happening, guys.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe. She's in the dark matches.
Chelsea Green I'm excited about.
Yeah, Chelsea Green's great as well.
Yeah.
They've even got T-shirts of Chelsea Green on the WWE shop, despite the fact she hasn't even debuted yet, has she?
Ooh, that is a little teaser for what John's going to be talking about in the second half.
I'm excited. I want to see more of some of the guys from the breakout tournament. I think
Jordan Miles.
Wow.
Let's not approach that. But,
Let's not.
I think Cameron Grimes has been very impressive. Bronson Reed has been equally kind of good. I want to see more of Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, I like
Dexter. What's happened? Yeah, why hasn't he been around?
I don't know, but he's got
Maybe
such an
injured.
interestingly cool gimmick. I want to see more of it. It's just creepy
Can
and weird.
we talk Cameron Grimes for a second?
Do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, looks like a great wrestler, like his in-ring stuff. Worst gimmick.
Is it just Carney?
It's like a cowboy.
Yeah, it's just a different type of cowboy, isn't it?
It is
Oh, is that
Or
what
like
it's
one of
meant
the
to
bad
be?
guys.
awful.
I think that's just what he's like.
He used to be the caveman. Does anyone something like that in what was it? It's not Impact. He used to be like a caveman-y type character.
I thought his gimmick was like a Carney. Oh, shows what I
Yeah,
know.
he does come across a bit like that.
Awful. And I love a wrestler with a hairy chest, but it's really put me off. The whole hat thing. Ugh.
I like his finisher. It's good.
Yeah, the stompy thing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, I think we have to talk about, in terms of matches, last week's match, the NXT, the Cruiserweight title match. We talked about it briefly, or we alluded to it, but Rush versus Garza. What a match that was. That's one of my favourite matches.
That was great.
They're really
of
good
recent weeks.
at putting on like a really good opener for NXT. Like the opening matches are always killers.
And that match had an advert in it. But luckily it didn't, when it came back from the advert, then it really started to build. And I think the wing clipper is such a great looking move.
It looks uncomfortable, that, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Oof.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely loving Angel Garza at the moment. I'm loving his Tai Chi style trouser rip.
Yeah.
Loving the kind of come out to the ring and letting the old women kiss him on the cheek. He's just the most Mexican man of all time.
And also, Leo Rush is reborn.
Oh man, he is killing it at the moment.
Yeah, he's excellent. He's got everything, hasn't he? I mean, we know he can talk. It's a real shame that for him to showcase his talking abilities, he had to be teamed up with Lashley on the main roster. But he's a great little wrestler. He's so fast.
They've both gone on to do so much better things, though. Rush is doing like the cruiserweight stuff, and Lashley is doing Lana. So
Hey. Boom. Bit of blue for the dads.
thank you.
I like that. Before we move on, should we have a little shout out for Mia Yim
Yeah.
and the beating that she took on last Wednesday's episode? That ladder to the nose, and then to be able to get up and carry on, and then chuck herself onto another ladder. Astonishing. She is hard as nails.
That was mental. In fact, on the women's division in NXT, best women's wrestling in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
All of them are amazing. Absolutely loving Io Shirai.
Yeah, her stuff with
Oh, God,
Candice
yes.
has been phenomenal.
And that was a good part where they just started brawling as well. At the end of this last week's show? I can't remember. It's a blur of wrestling. But like all the NXT women just like started, lead up to War Games. That's why they all just started like fighting and just beating each other up. And then Rhea Ripley comes out and just lays everyone out like a boss.
Was that the week before last? I think last week Bailey dropped Baszler.
Yeah, I think that's right. There's been a lot of brawls. There's been a lot of invasions.
But Rhea Ripley's been killing it recently.
Yeah,
She has.
Man, that finisher she's got at the moment,
The Cloverleaf.
absolutely brutal. The cloverleaf into the kind of the sit down power slam. I don't even know what to call it.
Isn't it called
Very
the Riptide?
Yes.
No, I don't think that is the Riptide. I think the
Oh, is
Riptide
that
is
something
kind
else?
of like a pump handle slam
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
thing.
She does have a move called
okay.
Riptide, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does. Yeah, we're not getting mad. We know our stuff, John.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Good. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I think what we proved here is it's quite hard to remember all of the matches from a number of weeks, but there have been a lot of them. And using the scraps of memory that we have, who would we say have had the best matches if we had to pick? John?
So this is hard because I think AEW has consistently good matches, whereas I think NXT has higher matches, but they also have like a load of dross in the middle sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go NXT though.
Okay.
I think I'm there with you on this one. I think kind of AEW has more consistent matches of kind of good quality. I think NXT can occasionally throw out a crap match, but most of the time kind of is pumping out excellence.
Like the main events are always stellar. Like better than that triple threat is better than any match I've seen in AEW.
Yeah.
Brett, agreed?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, agreed in terms of the weekly shows. Not talking pay-per-views there, John.
Well,
but I'd agree with you in terms of Dynamite. NXT. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I enjoy the whole shows of AEW from start to finish. NXT's one that I feel like I want to skip stuff, but you're more likely to get your 4 or 5 star matches. You're definitely going to get 1 or 2 each week, I think, on NXT.
Yeah, agreed. I think there's just so much more variety on NXT at the moment, and yeah, you just get some great drama. Yeah, basically everything you guys just said I agree with, so no need to keep waffling on. So that is another win for NXT. NXT faring pretty well at the moment, but it's all quite close, all to play for. Let's have a little bit of a break, and then let's talk about some silly stuff.
Balor chin first into the hardest part of the ring.
Welcome back. It's now time to talk about, stuff that a lot of people would probably consider the most important aspect of any wrestling show or wrestling promotion. We're going to start off with entrance music. Obviously, something that is hugely important to any wrestling fan. Brett, have you had a chance to have a little look down, listen to every single entrance theme on either roster? Is that what you're doing today?
I tried to, yeah. I tried to listen to quite a lot, and I have to say, a lot of it just doesn't stand out.
Yeah. I'm sure there is a lot.
If I was to, pitch them both against each other with their the ones that I really love, AEW is definitely doing better. Although whether they're doing better, yeah, I think so. But whether I don't really think they're to credit for it though, if that makes sense. Because like my favourite 2 entrance teams at the moment are both Cody Rhodes and Jericho's Judas. So
I think kind of you can possibly credit Jericho with Jericho's music.
No, you can, but you can't. That both of those guys had that music before AEW.
Okay, yeah,
is my point.
Yeah,
I really like Kenny Omega's new theme, that Battle Cry one. I think that's excellent.
Yeah,
agreed.
And then like I really like Joey Janela's. It's very synth wavy, which is cool. So like
Adam Page.
Darby Allin's as well. Is free. Well, Adam Page.
I don't like Adam Page.
I love Adam Page.
I like it.
Quite like it, right? But I was on YouTube trying to remind myself of them, and on the one on Adam Page's, I could hear the little the guy
Audio Jungle
had grabbed it from something. Yeah, it was like preview.
Yeah,
in the background.
It's very stock music,
and it's like premium beats. Like I've got so many things that I get for animations, and in the background there's preview. So it's very much like that one's stock music. Although
hold on a second, Brett.
I think it
sorry.
fits.
Does this mean that you don't pay for the full version of stuff you use for animation?
No, I do, but you have to download it. You have to get the client to sign off on it first.
Okay,
so
just checking.
You don't buy them all and then like
don't call him out on the podcast.
I know. Just
coming from someone who said he watches his wrestling on illegal stream.
yeah, and also that's not my bill. That's the client's bill. So yeah, of course.
If I'm going down, Brett's going down on with me
on you.
Wow, okay.
This is the sexiest podcast we've ever done.
So sexy. I can't believe how sexy I'm feeling.
But back to entrance. NXT for me, the bangers are Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano's Rebel Heart, Rhea Ripley's is cool. So but
Ciampa's is amazing.
Ciampa's is pretty good. I like Keith Lee's and Matt Riddle's.
I get like with a lot of them on NXT, like production wise, they're more polished. Yeah, music wise, like I'm not loving a lot of them.
Yeah, I think the Matt Riddle one reminds me so much of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah. I think if his had some singing in it, whatever it's like, rapping or whatever, it would probably stick a bit more. But when it's just like a little loop, they get a bit repetitive.
Yeah, it is true. I like it though. It is catching. It works with the whole bro, bro, bro chant as he walks in and the fist bumps and everything. And then Keith Lee's is great. I mean, the thing with Riddle and Lee is that they both used great music on the indies. So initially it was like, oh, this isn't as good, but they've both really grown on me. Cool. Okay. So AEW's your entrance music winner.
Oh yeah. Come on. Okay. Cody Rhodes is like
Cody Rhodes
the best.
Is top notch. Yeah, it's really good.
Going.
Okay. Good.
I actually quite like the Pride and Playful one as well. I think that's all right.
Pride and Playful.
Pride and Playful. Proud and Powerful.
Whatever they're called.
Postage and packaging.
I think I like Pride and Playful. Which one's
Pride and Playful? Wow.
Pride and Prejudice would be a great
Pride
name.
and Prejudice. Good stuff. Okay, so that's entrance music. Brett did a little bit of research into that, and he says AEW is the winner, so we're not going to disagree with that.
It's
John,
not up for debate.
John, what was your special assignment?
So I did a little fashion roundup of merch available on the various stores.
Yes. Tell us, who's got the best merch?
Yeah, so starting with NXT, most of their stuff looks the same. It's just like variations of the sort of gold with white.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is just like really bad graphics. And WWE have a terrible habit of putting stuff on the back of t-shirts, which I bloody hate.
Unforgivable. I hate that.
What do you mean?
Like every t-shirt they have has like a graphic or some text on the back of the t-shirt.
Yeah. Like, I would love a Ciampa one, but I don't want one on the back that just says, no one will survive. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Really nerdy and awful.
Yeah.
So most of their stuff isn't great. There are a few exceptions. Like there's a really nice, like psychedelic Velveteen Dream t-shirt, which is
that is amazing,
awesome.
that one. But again, it has something on the back.
Yeah, it does. But it's only a little logo and it's in the top. I think it's all right.
Okay.
You can also buy a bloody amazing Finn Balor replica leather jacket for £118.
Oh, yeah. I love all of the Finn Balor stuff, like his branding.
Yeah. Does it have
really
like a big
it.
BC on the back?
It's got the sort of Balor lightning bolt type thing on it. It looks cool. And for 118 quid, I think that's pretty. That's all right.
Would you wear that out? Like,
Good
would
Lord,
you wear
no.
a leather jacket with bullet?
The problem with
too old
Balor's
for leather
jackets is
jackets.
that you just constantly have to pop the collar because the collar keeps flapping about. And
Yeah.
It's all he ever does. So I wouldn't want to get one like that unless it had a stiff collar.
Yeah, so their standard merch is not great, but because it's WWE, they are really good at the slightly bonkers merch. So you can get a Finn Balor demon Halloween costume, like one of those suit things you put on, which for 28 quid. That's good. I like that. It's only a kid's size, but I reckon Sam could fit in it.
Okay.
I think you could fit in it.
Yeah, I think you
probably.
could fit in it, John.
You can get branded Stein glasses, which is weird, but I like that.
Scott Steiner glasses.
Yeah, Scott Steiner's glasses.
Okay.
You get full-size. You can get full-size standees of like Velveteen Dream or Finn Balor for some reason. Don't know why you'd want those. Also, in the t-shirt section, they've got t-shirts for everyone. Like even people I've never heard of, like Brendan Vick. You ever heard of him?
What? No.
You can buy his t-shirt on the store.
Maybe
I
he's
even googled him.
Not
big
Katie
thing.
Vick.
No, Brendan Vick.
Katie Vick t-shirts would be amazing.
I would buy a Katie Vick t-shirt.
Oh my god.
Overall, I don't think NXT is great for merch, and I would score it 2 berets out of 5.
Brutal.
I
And
appreciate
they
this.
say I give extreme ratings.
Yeah. Okay, AEW, tell us.
So AEW, they cover more traditional offering of t-shirts, hoodies, bags, badges, that sort of stuff. Although you can buy some Young Buck high tops, which look really nice for about $100, I think they were. And also you can get an American Nightmare tie for that next family funeral you might need. T-shirt wise, they kind of have a much stronger like style. It's kind of a bit metal and a bit hardcore-y, sort of not like pop hardcore. But it all kind of feels quite linked. Like it's got like they're all different, but they all kind of feel as part of one family.
Nice. Okay.
They don't have stuff on the back, which is great. They've got some really cool ones. Like Luchasaurus has got a really nice one. There is an amazing private party one, which is good. And Young Bucks are always good for a good t-shirt design. The downside. Darby Allin, our favourite, has terrible t-shirts. So does Nyla Rose. Her one looks weird and awful.
Okay. Not worried
But
about that.
I would score AEW 4 berets out of 5.
Ooh.
Not
Wow.
6.5.
No.
Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. So with all the silly stuff so far, AEW is walking away with it, by the sounds of things. Sam, finally, what did you look into?
So I was given the homework of fan tribalism from Adam, and I decided not to do the homework. But
What?
no, I did. I'm joking.
I'm like the demon headmaster now. You revealed that I gave you each some homework to do.
I mean, is it really pulling away the curtain when I say that Adam's in charge, and if we don't do what he says, he shouts and puts us through tables?
Yeah, you're worse than Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Do you know what the scary thing with Adam is? Now I'm talking on the mic and no one can stop me and no one can cut my mic. It's not I'm angry, it's I'm disappointed. And that's what
exactly.
scares
I
me the
don't
most.
raise my temper or anything. I sort of talk about why it's a real shame that you didn't deliver in the way that I know that you can.
Well, I have some delivery for you, sir.
Okay, go on. Do it.
Right, so I was going to go onto Reddit and I was going to try and find the most extreme fans with the most hardcore opinions. It turns out everyone's actually kind of measured about a lot of this stuff. I think everyone's just like, yeah, they're both pretty good. And you get a few crazies here and there. It seems like 90% of the tribalism is coming from the actual wrestlers themselves. Where you've got like your Randy Ortons or your Tony Khan or like just Seth Rollins. People generally just, I don't know, making drama where there is none. So I was happy to kind of call this one a day and think like, you know what, that's fine. Everyone's happy, everything's good. And then I went onto Dave Meltzer's Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Where Big Dave comes out with, let this be said again, any fans who wish for either WWE or AEW to go out of business are pathetic. Any wrestlers who do have IQs lower than the number of the eggs they consume in a given week. I don't even know what that means. Any wrestlers who do, Dave, have the IQ. He's left out grammar. Not important. Okay. And then, the replies in there, generally kind of, most of them saying, I don't understand the fans bashing AEW fans, or I don't understand WWE doing this, that, whatever. And then we get down to Abinhanf Debanth, or whatever his name is. And he just says,
Abu Hansa there for a second.
What, is this some random Twitter user?
Yeah, just some random Twitter user who replies to Dave Meltzer with, shut your mouth, motherfucker.
Okay.
So good. Wife.
That's the kind of thing I was hoping that you'd find.
Yeah.
But I guess,
there we go.
As with anything, it tends just to be people moaning about people moaning, and the actual original people moaning is just a tiny little minority. It's like the whole Brit Rest is dead thing. Most of the chat about that on Twitter is just people going, no, it isn't. It's not dead. It's good because of this. Or, oh, well, actually, let's be a bit more measured. It's not dead, but it's definitely not at the same level it was a couple of years ago because of this, and this. And actually, honestly, the crazies aren't there.
Generally, everyone's pretty happy with both AEW and NXT. I don't think, at least maybe not in the circles I'm perusing.
Whose circles are you perusing? Another one for the edit.
But shut your mouth, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm real sure that he's well-spoken, well-thought-out advice to heart. Any asshole who repeatedly makes shit up, listens, clicks is pathetic, a.k.a. you. So,
are you talking to us now? Is that still...
No. I'm sorry. I'm still reading Dave Meltzer's Twitter. I hope WWE goes bust. Screw them elitist douchebags. By the way, this metaphor is really, really shit. I'm not really following this.
I bet that account is actually owned by Dolph Ziggler.
Probably.
Okay, good stuff. But I mean, I know you haven't done like the full extensive research, and in a way, the question has changed from what you were originally meant to do. But Sam, who's got the best fans?
Everyone has the best fans.
Hardest part of the ring's got the best fans.
Hardest part of the ring's got the best fans. And how many berets out of 5 are you going to give me for my research?
I'll give you the full 5.
There we go.
Just to encourage you.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay, so let's do it then. Let's call it out. If we had to decide to watch only one of these promotions, I was going to say for a year or so, but let's just say for the rest of our lives.
Oh, what?
I mean, do you think we'll be watching wrestling for the rest of our lives?
Depends if we die tomorrow.
That's very true. Sam, you survived. I must say, that's good. Last week we were sort of suggesting that, maybe we'd call this a Sam Andrews RIP episode, but you made it all the way, so congrats on that. But yeah, if we had to pick one that we were going to choose to watch, and we could never watch the other one, which one would it be, Brett?
It would be AEW.
Wow,
without
that's surprising.
actually.
Okay. John?
Oh, this is hard. History of NXT. I'm going to go AEW. Fuck it.
Ooh.
Boom. Take that, Vince McMahon.
Sam?
Oh, this is the hardest choice I'm ever going to have to make in my life, I think.
I think you're right.
Do you know what? I love AEW. Really do. Love all the guys in there. Hope it does really well. NXT's always been there for me. It's going to be NXT.
Nice. And just to make sure that there is absolutely no final resolution to this episode,
Yes.
I'm
I know where you're
also
going.
going to pick NXT because of all the history, and it was my number one favourite wrestling to watch. I can't just ditch it. So yeah, let's go for NXT. But I think we're all agreed we all love both.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. So everyone's a winner in the end. Cool. Okay. Well, let's have a quick break, and then let's hear from the listeners briefly before we wrap it up.
Question week.
Okay, so it's the return of hardest question of the week this week, and I asked on Twitter. This week we'll be discussing the Wednesday night war between NXT and AEW. Which show are you preferring at the moment and why? Just picked out a couple. Super Pick Party says AEW because I can watch it live. That's literally all that's in it. NXT is so solid too, though.
That's a good point. It is cool being able to watch AEW on ITV4.
But live, yeah,
Isn't
I guess
that
you just
like
have to
1 in
stay
the
up.
morning? What time is it?
I don't watch it live, no. But it's cool watching it on ITV4.
Yeah.
Is it? Is it really?
I thought over here, I think they show it really early in the morning and then on a Friday. Is it? I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. Maybe Super Pick Party actually goes out and flies out for each one. We don't know. We need more context. Loserweight says, since it went live, or at least the start of the war, average match quality on NXT has been greater than Dynamite. But as a show, spectacle and storytelling, Dynamite is way better.
Oh, we said it the other way around.
Yeah, no, we thought we
said it that way.
We said
I
it that
thought
way.
we said average match quality on Dynamite was better, but NXT had higher.
Well, we also
highs.
said it's more consistent, but if you're going to talk... Yeah, I suppose so. He also says, if I had to choose, I'd watch Dynamite. Exciting, fresh, and seeing a new brand develop and progress is cool.
Progress.
And finally, Jamie Reeves says, hold a gun to my head and I'll pick Dynamite because the storytelling is a bit better, but honestly, they're both brilliant. Dynamite and NXT are must-watch in our house, and Raw and SmackDown are now completely disposable.
Yeah, if we're talking about out-of-context sentences, hold a gun to my head and I'll pick Dynamite is probably my favourite ever said.
Yeah. But I think that's a good point from Jamie. I mean, how many people are now keeping up to date with Raw and SmackDown? I used to quite often stick that on in the background when I was working, but now
Same.
It's just reading the results and that's it.
I haven't watched it in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I was trying to keep up with SmackDown as well since it moved to Fox, but I lost interest very quickly.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, there's loads of great wrestling. Just watch what you want. If you don't get around to watching one of them in 1 week, don't worry about it. Yeah?
Good solid advice there, Adam.
Nice, mate.
Like Jerry
you
Springer
fixed
there.
the world of wrestling.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Next podcast, we are going to talk about more wrestling, obviously. It's going to be our Survivor Series review. We've got a great weekend coming up, TakeOver and Survivor Series. I'd say maybe we'll fit in a little TakeOver review as well, but that's quite unlikely. But who knows?
see.
You never know. So until next week, if people want to get in touch, Brett, how do they do it? Are you going to wrap it?
They can in Christmas wrapping paper. It's the hardest part of sending. Blah.
Oh, he's fucked it.
Wanker.
They can send their emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. Get us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We are at hardestpartpod. And check out our shop, which is hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Yay.
Got them
Okay.
again, mate.
Thank you to everybody who has tuned in. I haven't said it for a while, but if you leave us a review on iTunes and send us a screenshot, we will send you some stickers. Super Prick Party, who commented earlier. He's had some stickers recently. We've sent stickers all over the world, I believe. But yeah, do it, because that helps people find the podcast. And that's good for us. So thank you very much for listening. And until next week, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye to you, Sam.
Go watch wrestling in the shower. I promise you won't regret it.
Don't please, nobody drag their TV or laptop into the shower.
Don't listen. One piece of advice I could give you is never listen to Sam.
Yeah, that is a good goodbye from you, John.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye to you, Brett.
Goodbye, and I concur with John's statement.
Good. That's the main takeaway from this pod.
Yeah.
I will not be silent.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of the